Hey Crusaders, Daryl here. So I am going to be doing a project to the back of my 03 Mitsubishi Montero. We have another trip coming up in October to the mountains to do the part of the Georgia Traverse. And the project I want to do is to put a rear tray on the back door of my 03 Mitsubishi Montero. I'm going to be using materials that I have here at the house. I'm not going to the store or anything. It's just stuff I have in my garage or out of my pantry or wherever. And the tray is going to be made out of one of those plastic cutting boards, which you can purchase at Sam's Club, Costco, BJ's, restaurant supply stores, or whatever. It's a white plastic cutting board, and I figured that would be easy for cleanup. And it's already cut up a little bit, so it's not a huge deal. I can just use bleach wipes and clean it up when I'm done. So let me show you a little bit about what I have that I'm working with. All right, Crusaders, so here's the white cutting board, which I'm going to be using. And that goes, I want to say about 2 feet by about 14 3/4, almost 15 inches. I have a cordless drill, marker to mark the holes I need to cut, miscellaneous bolts, and what do I have there? Self-tappers. The way I'm going to hold it up is I'm going to use paracord. I'm just going to use 2 hinges, and also this is one of those magnetic, if you could see, this is going to be on the one side's going to be on the cutting board, and the other side's going to be on the back door right here. So it's going to be attached to this right here, and then it's going to come just below my handle, which is going to be nice. So let's see how it goes. Oh, also what I found out was right here behind this piece of plastic is metal. So I can actually drill through this metal. So it's going to be a nice backer. And like I said, it's going to be connected up here, so that magnet will keep it closed and compressed against the back door. So I think that's about it for right there. Yes, that's an absolute friggin' disaster. And this hopefully is all going to be rebuilt before our next trip. As you can see, my solar controller, refrigerator, my portable pooper, my front runner boxes. So yes, all that is going to hopefully be finding a new home. All right, guys, the first thing I want to do is I want to measure out the overall length of the cutting board, which is 20 inches. And I need to figure out where I want to put the hinges. So I figure if I come in 3 inches on each side, so that'll be coming into the 3-inch mark here, and then I can bring it in 3 inches, which would be 17 inches on the other side. That would be a good placement for my hinges. It's not totally in thirds, but that still gives, I don't know, you're looking at basically a 9-inch difference. All right, so that's the first thing I need to do, is mark things out. What I'm going to do first is I'm eventually going to drill through it and put these screws with the lock nut on the other side. But just to hold it in place for right now, I'm going to drill, there's 3 spots, but I'm going to put 2 self-tappers on one side and 2 self-tappers on the other side. That way they can pretty much get lined up. And I'm going to start the hole without the hinge being in place. Okay, that one's through. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to put the hinge in place. That's going to be one. Okay. Now before I get too far, I want to make sure that the hinge is the way I want it to be, so it'll actually close properly, and it is. Okay, so there's one hinge on it. That's pretty good. And I'll just repeat the other side. Okay, Crusader, so I went ahead and got the second one done. Like I said, these self-tappers are just temporary. That's to put the hinges in place. And I'm going to grab a drill the holes out, and then I'll bolt the hinges on. And then from there, we'll work on connecting them to the door behind me. And this is looks like a 3/16 or 3/18 drill bit, maybe. So what I'm going to do is I have these center holes drilled out, and I am going to put one of the screws through, and then go ahead and just finger snug them. And then what I can do is I can start taking the self-tapping screws out. And then, but I want to do one self-tapper at a time. That way the hinge doesn't move around on me. You can tell these magnets are good. They're like everything's sticking to them. It's under control. Okay. What I really should do is get my second drill and use my second drill for the drill bit and my other drill just for the self tappers. That would save time going back and forth from the bits I have to use. Clean up the plastic in the back. These are lock nuts, so I don't have to worry about lock washers. So that makes that easy. But I did put a washer on the back side. Okay, 2 more evolutions and we're done. Putting the hinge on the board. Okay, drill bit. All right, last 2 screws with the washer, the flat washer, and the locking nut. See, doing that, it kept the hinges in place. So I didn't have to chase the hinges all around the cutting board. Now, like I said, I'm doing this with items I had around the house. Okay? If you should desire, I mean, I've seen some really kick-ass backdoor tables, cutting boards, whatever, made out of all kinds of material, even fancy bought ones on the internet. But I think this is big enough to have a little cooking area. So we'll see. If I do it right, it'll be just fine. So I went ahead and got a 10 millimeter wrench. Just going to put that on the lock nut, put the drill in, tighten it down. Doesn't get a whole lot easier than that, does it? And yes, I know that noise means I'm possibly stripping up the screw head, but 1 or 2 is not going to kill it. I'm just not holding the drill properly because I'm trying to balance the cutting board on the table while I am trying to screw it on. Okay, 1 more, and then that's done. And then what we can do is we could try and mock it up on the door. Now, if you notice here, try and aim it like this, you can see a little of the screw sticking out. I may get the grinder and grind these off. We'll just see. I'll see how it looks. It's down here at the bottom, so it looks like I may want to do that, but I'm really more worried about the cutting surface, and these screws do have it flat here, so I may try and bring it down to the lock nut. It'll probably look a little bit better. It's just my personal opinion, right? And we all know what we say about opinions. Everyone's got one. They're like butts. So I may get my stool and then my Sharpie and go ahead and mark these out. It's gonna be a trial and error. As you can see, I've tried there, I've tried there. Now here's my error, okay? So I was able to go all the way through, get one bolt on it, attempt to close it, and the handle here was getting in the way. So let me try this again. I'll actually record this so you can see if I fail again. So, but I'll get it. No worries. It's just plastic. Who would have thought that such a thin piece of metal could be such a booger to get through? So let's do that. Here is my washer and my nut. Push that through. Washer's on. Alright, the nut is started, so I can actually support it with my legs. And I'll switch up the bit again. I really need to get the second drill bit out, the second drill out here. Alright, so get this on the nut. Alright, let's snug. I really think I can just let's see where we're at here. That's good right there. Comes in underneath that. I think if I mark that there, I think we're golden, guys and gals, because I know we have a bunch of female wheelers, which I think is awesome. Let me mark that one. I'm just going to let this one hang. Okay, right there. Bada bing. Let's see if I can get another one in. Grab me a washer out of the container. There's a nut. Through the hole. Washer's on. Okay, nut is on. Okay, Okay, so that's snug. So I basically have just a screw here and a screw here. So my only concern is when I close it, are the screw heads going to be touching each other, since they're more like for wood screws and they're not recessed. So let's see what happens here. And I actually am going to have to, I can live with that. It's going to close. I just have to lift the handle a little bit, which keeps it even more snug. That's a freaking win. But the thing is, when I put the magnets on here, I may not have to do a whole lot with it. I don't know. What do you think? I think it'll work. Like I said, I definitely need to trim these down. Or I wish I had the caps for them. That would be nice too. So maybe I'll look into that. But I think it'll work. It's not going anywhere. I'll get this secured, and then I'll work on the straps coming down, which I may be able to just hook it on here. That would be a score too. Then I don't have to worry about drilling a whole nother hole in here. The only difference is it comes in at an angle. So we'll see what happens. All right, Crusader, so here's what we did. This is paracord, and you know that tensile strength is what, 500 pounds maybe. I just drilled a hole in one end, and on the other end I already had these little factory netting points for this net right here. So I'm going to see how that does right there. I mean, if you look at it, it flexes a little bit, but I'm pushing down pretty good. So, I mean, I don't plan on putting my camp stove or anything on there. This is just like trail side, want to make a sandwich, don't feel like setting up a table or anything, and something like that. So the next thing I have to do is put the magnets on. Like I said, it comes up, it has some resistance at the bottom, but see how it just fits right underneath that? Yes, I need to clean everything up. My hands are dirty. So as you can see, this board is used a lot. That's barbecue, and I'm going to clean that up some. So, but that's on the bottom side. Really don't care. So the top side looks a whole lot better. And I do scrub stuff down and wash it. So, all right, guys. So let me put the magnet right here and then up there, and then we'll see what happens. Yep, sorry, right there. Everyone, so I got the magnet on here. Got it all corded out. See, push down. Seems to be okay. So when I put it up, here's the other magnet right there. And I lift it up under the handle. The magnets touch, but there's too much pressure on these hinges. So I may just have to disassemble everything. Alright guys, so it looks like I may have to deconstruct the whole thing, rethink it, maybe come up with a commercial solution, or figure out what the issue is going to be. If I have to deconstruct it, no big deal. These are all things that I had at my house. Hey Crusaders, Daryl here. I wanted to do a follow-up on the tray that I was putting in the back of my 03 Mitsubishi Montero, but something else came up. I have a trip coming up in 2 weeks. We're going to North Georgia to do some more in-depth portions of the Georgia Traverse, but I have a fuel tank that has a dent in the bottom of it. When I took it out, replaced the fuel lines and replaced the fuel pump, there was a valve, like a purge valve, that I didn't have sourced yet, so I have that now. And I also have a replacement tank that doesn't have a dent in it, so I have all new valves, new fuel pump, and a new sending unit. So let me show you what I have going on right now. So that right there is actually the plastic fuel tank protector that comes stock with it. So I just have it laying over top of the tank. So if you notice, I put a new purge valve on it, a new fuel pump on it, a new sending unit on it, and then another sensor on it. So this is going to go up underneath my truck. Yeah, just take my word for it. It's back there. So this is what I have going on. I got new fuel lines on the tank currently. So I'm just gonna take those new fuel lines off and put them on the new tank everywhere it needs to be done, okay? And I also have a new filler hose and filler neck. So once I get done with this, then I'll try and do a follow-up video on the tray in the back. All right, Crusaders, so that's the update. I'm gonna finish out this video and say, please like, subscribe, share. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's just what I had laying around the house. I didn't go source anything. So I'm still trying to figure out if I can do everything without having to buy something. And I think I can. But like, share, subscribe. And as always, God bless, and I hope to see you on your own crusade.